This narrated PowerPoint slideshow will outline the 5-step process of how to locate and share renewable assignments. This presentation will start by defining the key terms that we shall use before walking you through the 5 steps for locating and sharing renewable assignments. This module details how to locate and share renewable assignments with a focus on the various online tools and repositories which facilitate both these processes. Locating renewable assignments can be a difficult process. This module reveals the most likely tools and repositories where renewable assignments can be found, as well as providing guidance on how to search for them and how to evaluate the discovered artifacts. Sharing produced assignment artifacts where other adopters are likely to discover them is essential to the continuation of renewable assignments. This module outlines how and where to publish newly created assignments. Before commencing, it is important to define some key concepts that will be used throughout the module. Firstly, tool, a technical program that can extend an individual's ability to carry out particular functions. Secondly, repository, a central location where data is stored and managed. Here is a quote that illustrates one of the main reasons you might consider sharing your work. I truly believe that no matter how good information may be, it only has value when it can be found. Chris Powter. The 5 steps involved in the process of locating and sharing renewable assignments are as follows: identify, determine, select, locate, share. I will now explicit these in greater detail. Identify. Identify the different tools and repositories that could be used to publish student works. Determine. Determine relevant tools and repositories for sharing the produced assignment artifacts. Select. Select appropriate tools and repositories for renewable assignments. Locate. Locate existing renewable assignments which fit the course objectives. Share. Share newly created renewable assignments. The processes of locating and sharing renewable assignments are essential to the recyclability of renewable assignments. Renewable assignments are recyclable by definition, and as more assignments are produced and shared, the likelihood of discovering relevant material is increased. This next section introduces the first step in the 5-step process, which is to identify the tools and repositories available for locating and sharing renewable assignments. Here are some examples of the various tools and repositories you may choose to use when locating and sharing renewable assignments. Tools: Vimeo, PowerPoint, Google Slides, QuizGame, Kahoot, Adobe, VoiceThread, H5P. Repositories: OER Commons, Merlot, Lumen Learning, Open Michigan, Canvas, Google Drive, Moodle, Oasis. This slide displays the first of 2 infographics. This first infographic shows the best places to locate and publish renewable assignments. It is divided into 4 sections. The first is General OER Repositories, and this includes OER Commons and Teaching Commons. The second is Federated Search Tools. This includes the Mason OER MetaFinder, SUNY's Oasis, and Merlot. The third is Subject and Course-Specific Repositories, and this includes Chem Collective, DS106, and Skills Commons. The fourth and final section is institutional repositories. This includes Galileo, Open Washington, MIT OpenCourseWare, and Open Michigan. The second infographic shows some of the other places to share renewable assignments. Again, this is divided into 4 separate sections. The first is multimedia platforms, which include Flickr, YouTube, Vimeo, and SoundCloud. The second is blogs and website builders. This includes WordPress, Wix, Blogger, and Tumblr. The third is cloud storage. This includes Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. The final section is other repositories. This includes SlideShare and Internet Archive. This next section introduces the second step in the 5-step process, which is to determine the tools and repositories to be used for locating and sharing renewable assignments. When determining the tools and repositories to be used for your renewable assignment, ask yourself the following questions. What tools and repositories are available at Concordia University? What tools and repositories are relevant to your course discipline? What tools and repositories are relevant to your target audience? A good example of an answer to the questions on the previous slide for an assignment which is being shared internally within your own class is Moodle, since this is a resource which is available to all of your students. A similar resource is ThingLink, which is available for all Concordia faculty members. This site allows for the option of creating an instructor-created student account for student annotation abilities. This slide includes a playable YouTube video giving tips for instructors creating OER. This video will give you some information on how to determine where and how to share your renewable assignment. This section introduces the third step in the 5-step process, which is how to select the tools and repositories to be used in locating and sharing your renewable assignments. When making your selection of the most relevant tool or repository for your renewable assignment, you might want to consider the following: identifying the advantages and disadvantages of the different tools and repositories, evaluating how manageable the tools and repositories are for you and your students to use, determining how appropriate the tools and repositories are to meeting the needs of the assignment and reaching the intended audience. Here is an example of these considerations in action. Students in an educational psychology course were asked to create a report on cognitive apprenticeship. To make her work public, Esmeralda Alvarez chose to share her work via YouTube. The tool she used to create her report on cognitive apprenticeship was Powtoon. By selecting to publish her work on YouTube, Miss Alvarez has made her work accessible to all those who have access to YouTube, which should include her professor and all her classmates, as well as the general population, given the repository's popularity. Click on the following video to see the artifact created by Esmeralda Alvarez, which she shared on YouTube. This next section introduces the 4th step in the 5-step process, which is to locate existing renewable assignments that can be revised and remixed depending upon your needs and upon the Creative Commons licensing attribution given. Remember, it is best not to reinvent the wheel, and instead to try and locate already existent renewable assignments that can be remixed or revised with your students according to your needs and to the CC license which they are published under. Abby Elder has identified a 4-step search process for locating renewable assignments. Step 1. Identify keywords related to your course and its learning objectives. Step 2. Search OER repositories and aggregators for any relevant assignments. Step 3. Review the located assignments against your needs and constraints. Step 4. Reflect on the assignment you have located. Let's give it a try together. The next slide will walk you through how to locate existing renewable assignments. The following is a demonstration of how to locate renewable assignments on the openly available Sources Integrated Search, or OASIS website. Step 1. Visit the OASIS website. Step 2. On the main page in the search engine, type in your keyword. In this case, we have chosen to search the term environment. Step 3. Refine your search by selecting course material under type. Step 4. Browse the list of results paying close attention to the title, author, source, and type. Remember, you already filtered your search by type to course material. Step 5. Select the artifact that interests you or is most applicable to your course objectives, such as Environmental Psychology Open Syllabus, which was authored by Valkyria Duran-Naroki. Step 6. Review your selection in further detail, such as document type, publication date, Creative Commons licensing attribution, and any other information that may be provided. For the purpose of this example, we selected a syllabus that was created together with students of environmental psychology. Let's try that one more time. The next slide will once again walk you through how to locate existing renewable assignments. The following is a demonstration of how to locate renewable assignments on the OER Commons website. Step 1. Visit the OER Commons website. Step 2. Begin your search with predefined filters such as setting the educational level to upper primary. Step 3. On the main page in the search engine, type in your keyword. In this case, we have chosen the term ocean garbage. Step 4. Review your search results. Step 5. When an artifact is of interest to you, click on the title. Step 6. Review your selection in further details by reading the description, subject, author, and date added to the OER Commons website. Step 7. Verify if your selection is pertinent to your course objectives and the purpose of your assignment. This next section introduces the last step in the 5-step process, which is sharing your work in order to make it accessible to the community of your choice, whether this be the larger academic community or limited to your own institution. The key in making an assignment renewable is allowing for open access. Here are some points to consider when sharing your renewable assignment. Encourage students to share their assignment upon completion. You may choose to discuss the benefits of sharing newly produced artifacts with your students. However, they should not be obligated to do so. Their comfort with their level of openness is paramount and trumps all other concerns. When sharing your assignments, consider your community. While your primary motivation for creating OER and renewable assignments will likely be for your own class, consider if the reach of the resources should stop there. Professors and other learners, both within and beyond Concordia, might benefit from these artifacts as well. Consider your students' digital literacy skills when asking them to share their work. A fair amount of digital literacy is required to successfully share newly created renewable assignments. Here are some benefits of sharing your renewable assignment. Adopters can share feedback, which will improve the resource. This makes a better resource for you, your students, and all who use it. Others can help create new, updated editions of the assignment, especially if you find yourself in a position where you're no longer able to do so. The assignment can live on and be current without your constant attention. Students, whether in your class or not, can utilize the assignment as a reference or resource for lifelong learning. Here are some more benefits of sharing your renewable assignment. You will be adding to the shared knowledge and resources available to the community. Sharing your assignment means that someone else, possibly a colleague, won't have to recreate a very similar resource from scratch. Also, it can increase your visibility within your professional community. This can not only translate to increased recognition of your name, but also can lead to increased opportunities based upon your contribution. Another effect is the increased visibility of Concordia or your own program, and the improvement of the university's reputation within the academic community. This slide provides a link to an article describing the process of sharing a renewable assignment in a higher education classroom setting. Upon completion of the assignment, in this case, students were encouraged to consider sharing their work openly. Students opted to share their work on Google Drive with a Creative Commons license, or on OER Commons, also with a Creative Commons license. Here are some tips and tricks for sharing your renewable assignments. Start working with the tools and repositories that you are already the most familiar with. Ensure that wherever you choose to share your work, it considers your intended users. Locating and sharing your artifacts depends on your ability to work with the appropriate tools and repositories. Hopefully, the lessons presented in this module will equip you well for this 5-step process. And be sure to check out the available formats for extra job aids to remind you of the key points of this lesson.